So, we were kind of talking back and forth last week about the Sony drop, right? And yeah, well, it was postponed because of the market, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
And then all of a sudden they drop it again in the midst of even a worse market.
sure.
Well, I think we figured out why they dropped it.
Papa's popping and locking. Magnum scrutinizing. Papa Max Podcast.
Welcome back to week 6 of Pop and Mag's Pinecast. Mags, it's now been 31 days since we were told we could take our NFTs off of Thetadrop. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good. Are we able to do that now?
We still have not been able to do that. It has been a few weeks, but we are still waiting on the few weeks to be a few weeks, I believe.
Okay, so we're past the 1 week. We're past the couple weeks.
We're past a couple weeks.
We're possibly deep into a few weeks.
We're in the very gray zone of a few weeks here.
Between 2.5, 3 weeks and 52 weeks.
I'm not sure what the cap is on a few, but I know we're into that section of possibilities here. So yeah, but I had something I wanted to bring up to you. I was looking through the pineapples. I tend to check the recent listings all the time.
Sure.
And I was just wondering, a lot of people now have these bronze badges since it only costs like $10 to get bronze VIP with the T-drop prices where they are. So there's so many of these pines that are listed now that are T-fuel only. Don't you think it would be kind of nice to have a little symbol or something of that nature on the pineapple itself to show that this seller accepting only T-fuel at the time?
Or maybe like a search filter, T-fuel only.
Or a search filter, yeah, absolutely. Or USD only.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I don't really. I like the look anyway because you're not gonna see all the pines if you do that. So you might be missing out on deals and steals.
Yeah, that's true. But if you're at least able to see, like, they have the utility badge on there, but what does that do? It doesn't tell me anything. If instead of that being a utility badge, it was like this one's tagged T-fuel only. And then instead of me having to click into it and find out T-fuel only, I could know just by looking at it. I'm kind of lazy like that. Maybe I'm the only one.
Right. No, I hear nothing about this on the boards. It's because it seems like everyone and their sister is a bronze level right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of the bronze level, and I don't know if you're done with that thought, but most things seem like they're T-fuel only because it seems like most people, there is not that many casual people, it seems like, on there. It's all people that just really like the platform. So a lot of stuff's T-fuel only. T-fuel seems it's harder to come by. So I was thinking, are the drops that the bronze receiving better than rolling the dice for USD T-fuel versus getting your rewards from staking the T-drop?
I mean, that's a great question. And I think you can look at the history of the bronze drops and you can see that there's really only one that has any value, in my opinion.
HGH?
Yeah, it's the only one. The rest of them, it's like people get these things and they turn around and they sell them for $5.
Right.
It's an immediate reaction. So I don't know. I'm really questioning whether it's worth it or not. For me right now, I'm just going to kind of let it ride. I do like the T-fuel only option to sell by. I would actually even prefer a USD sell only option because there are times where if I have a little bit of USD in my account and I need just a little bit more I got my eye on something, it'd be nice to be able to sell something to guarantee a USD amount also to be able to turn around and make that purchase that I'm looking at.
You just made me think of something, and I'm sure this has been brought up because I'm not the newest to Thetadrop. I think I came in right before the Pines. What if there was a way to merge USD and T-fuel to combine for the price?
That would be excellent, and I don't see why we can't do that, to be honest with you. Why not? Yeah, right.
Just a thought.
If you have $100 of USD and you have $100 worth of T fuel, why can't you spend it on a $200 architect or whatever?
I don't know how many times where it didn't matter. It didn't matter what I sold it. If I would have to sell a few things, and it didn't matter if I got T fuel or US dollar because I wanted to get something else with it. And then I don't know how many times this has happened to you. I get one thing in T fuel and I get one thing in USD, and I can't buy the thing that I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, not as much anymore with the bronze, with the bronze badge, but yeah, that used to happen all the time. And then you end up, especially when you're trying to go for a big ticket thing, a real nice pine or something, and then you end up with a stack of cash and a stack of T fuel, and you're no closer to getting the pine you want. Terrible.
Oh yeah, know that feeling too well.
So yeah, we touched on offers a little bit last week, and I just wanted to bring something up. I had, a buddy of mine was going to take an offer today. I forget exactly what it was. I think it was like one of the rarer unicorn dicks. I'm not even 100% sure. It wasn't market value, but it was close enough that he was just ready to dump it. And so after thinking about it for a little while, he accepted the offer. And guess what? He gets a notification that the buyer no longer has the T fuel necessary to make the deal. Why is that allowed to happen?
Yeah, from me playing around with this, it seems like you need to have the US dollar or the T fuel in your account for the offer, but you can make unlimited offers up to that amount. So I don't know if that's fair and equitable for the seller or the buyer or what, but they must have had other offers out there that either got accepted or they bought something else, and that unfortunately doesn't get rid of their offer. And I could have sworn, and now that you bring it up, it kind of confused me when I saw it, that because I had some stuff, I took some offers on some things, and it said you have like 2 hours to process it or something like that. I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly. So like, and I think that would be the situation where somebody had the money, then for whatever reason they didn't, or also too, like it could be like, hear me out. So like you have T fuel only option, right? You're selling something for, I don't know, $50 US dollars in T fuel only. You have T fuel. You put an offer, equivalent for $30, but by the time you look at it, it's, I don't know, 25. I'm probably being like, it's probably not accurate, but because the price of T fuel does fluctuate. But then now I'm thinking as I'm talking, like I do, it seems like that wouldn't matter because that's why there's a T fuel only option.
Right. Well, when you're making that offer, you're choosing either USD or T fuel, and if you choose the T fuel option, you're choosing the amount of T fuel. You're not choosing the US dollar equivalent. You're choosing an actual T fuel amount. So, I mean, it seems to me, personally, I think it would be a better idea if somebody's making an offer that money is frozen. Just like you're pre-funding for a drop, that money is frozen. If you want to cancel your offer and get that money back, then you cancel your offer. If somebody has an offer out there shouldn't be an instance where I accept an offer and then I can't accept it because the person can't pay me. I think that's ridiculous. That's something that should be looked at. That,
or if you anytime don't have the T fuel or US dollar to back up that amount, then the offer should go away.
Yeah,
like if you buy something,
disappear.
Just let it go.
Yeah,
and
there should be a check.
Maybe the end user who's making that decision will pop up if they're trying to buy something. They have active offers out there saying, "Hey, just so you know,
your offer will be canceled.
Your offer is going to be canceled. Your offers are going to be canceled."
Yeah,
to this amount.
I think. Yeah. I think that's something that would make it a little cleaner. But I wanted to get your take on something here. I noticed there was a new challenge this week, a Theta TV challenge. Did you happen to see that one?
I saw it while I was trying to complete other challenges.
Sure, same here. That's when I noticed it. Did you notice what the challenge reward was?
I'll get it wrong. I think it was some amount of T-drop or something.
It was 1,000 T-drop. 1,000 T-drop.
I got a feeling maybe those prices went up for those NFTs.
You think so for 1,000 T-drop?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I mean, the one is expensive. That dragon, the Take a Smoke dragon. I checked, that was like 120-ish, maybe a little bit more. I think overall it was like $180 to complete the challenge if you didn't have any of them
Hmm.
for 1,000 T-drop. Dude,
Well,
that's like $3. It's like,
but that's better than Swamp Ass. He spent about $1,800 to get all the American Idol, and he only got 300 T drop. And I believe Wolvie said he spent about $2,000 to get all the American Idols, and he also got a was it 300 T drop.
yeah,
So I
but
mean,
they also got the golden tickets. They also got uh the the challenge at the end with all 12. So it wasn't just for that. But yeah, I hear you. The 300 T drop there was, you can buy something very, very cheap and get a bunch of T drops. So I just thought like a thousand T drop is not much of a reward, and it's certainly not anything that's gonna get me to go out and spend $180.
sure,
I
yeah,
don't know about you. Maybe you're Mr. Moneybags over there, so maybe you would do it for the
no,
for the stack of T
no,
drop.
I don't know anything about those Theta TV NFTs to be
I
honest
don't
with
know
you.
anything about them either. They've been around for a long time, and I don't know if there's any future use for them or if this was the future use for them. I really don't know. So
Yeah, yeah, you got me on that one. So, Popper, I guess unrelated to all this, I got something that's just been bothering me lately, and now we have this platform to share our frustration.
oh
Um,
boy.
and not everything is Theta or Theta Drop or NFT or Kyle related, believe it or not.
Only 90% of things.
90% of it. So this has been slowly creeping in the past few years, and I don't know. Do you drink coffee?
I do drink coffee.
So here's the dilemma I'm having. So I mostly make coffee at home, but if I would go out and get coffee, and they say, what would you like? Oh, I like if I'm at Starbucks, like I want a venti, or if I'm at Dunkin', a large, or any other
Hmm.
place, I want this kind of coffee. And they basically stop listening to me, and they say hot or cold.
Okay.
So I'm confused, because as old as I am, I remember basically coffee has always been hot.
Listen, I agree with that. I mean, if you're ordering a coffee, it's hot. Unless
And
you specify iced coffee. Like iced
right,
coffee is a different thing. And then you're telling them you want a cold coffee. But if you're just asking for coffee, that's coming hot.
that's yeah. So my thing is, hot coffee should be the default. I don't care if it's 110
Correct.
degrees out.
I
If
don't
I
either.
say coffee, I want a hot
It's hot.
coffee,
Yes.
right? And but the funny thing is, when I order a hot coffee, I always get into the situation where, like, why do I have to explain myself to you that I want a hot coffee?
Right.
But I never have this issue when I get a cold coffee. Do you know why? Or an iced coffee?
Why?
Do you know why? Because I
Because you
tell
call it
them
an
I
iced
want it.
coffee.
Right, right. So there's no question. I just don't understand how, the past 20 years, maybe iced coffee and cold coffee has, like, it's been there.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken over a bit, but hot coffee is the default,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I just don't understand the charade that I have to explain myself. Like, it's the stupidest question I've ever heard. If I want a hot coffee, I'm going to say I'd like a
Coffee.
large coffee. That's
Right.
it. Hot
Coffee
or
means
cold. It's
hot.
like
Yeah.
they stop everything.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a second. Like, we've gone too far. We got to step it back. Hot or cold? What?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, hot is definitely the default when ordering coffee. And I don't
It's
care if it's 110 degrees either, you know.
right.
I
And
had
I'll have a hot coffee at 110, and I'll have
yeah.
a iced coffee in freaking 30 degrees. We're talking
Yeah.
Fahrenheit. I don't know what the Celsius is on that.
Yeah.
Maybe some of our outside country people can fill us in on that. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I just don't know why I have to justify my coffee choices.
No,
Hot
I agree.
is
I've had that
that's the
same
default.
question asked to me before too, and it's just like, no, man, I was being judged for sure for drinking hot coffee on a hot day. It's like, dude, I'm going into air conditioning right now, so relax and give me my hot
Yeah,
coffee.
You don't know my temperature situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And I've drinking super hot ones on a hot day outside. It should be what I want.
It is.
And we should make coffee is default
Make
hot
coffee hot
coffee.
again.
Make it hot again. But yes, something. I just had to, with a podcast of this magnitude, sometimes we got to step outside ourselves and look for the greater good. Not everyone's involved in Theta NFTs or Theta or T Fuel, but
everyone
a lot
can
of
benefit
people
from this conversation.
Everyone.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Let's make coffee hot
they'll
again.
say, do you want a tea or do you want an iced tea? Okay, well that makes sense. One's iced, iced, and one's tea, which is hot.
Right.
We don't
tea
have
hot.
Hot or cold. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So there shouldn't be any distinction.
Yes.
I think everyone's in agreement, and hot coffee is just coffee until otherwise noted.
Yes.
So that's I wanted to make that crystal clear.
Yes, I think you've made that point, and I completely agree with that. And we should make coffee hot again.
Make coffee hot again.
Because tea's always been hot,
Always been hot. Well, I believe coffee's been hot too. It's just cooled down the past few years.
But exactly. But now they're trying to take the hotness away from the coffee. Leave it alone.
Yeah. Leave the terminology the same. I still think I'm not a marketing person, as we mentioned last time, but I would assume coffee that goes to make hot coffee has got to be greater sales. I wouldn't let them get any foothold on that. Yeah. And two, sometimes like in the grocery, if you ever go to there, they have they actually have like cold brew coffee.
Yeah, they do.
It's in the cold section, but I don't find hot coffee in that section.
No,
you know what I mean? Because it doesn't need to be refrigerated. I don't know. Okay.
Good point. So, we were kind of talking back and forth last week about the Sony drop, right? And how it was postponed. Yeah, well, it was postponed because of the market. You know what I mean? And then and then all of a sudden they drop it again in the midst of even a worse market.
Sure.
Well, I think we figured out why they dropped it, because we happened to see Sony with a booth at the NFT conference in New York City. Did you see that?
I saw it only because I saw your post on it.
My post?
I saw you. I saw a comment. Maybe it was on Discord.
Oh yes. I pointed it out to you. Yeah. So I was, a couple of thoughts on this. I don't know if you want to go to bat first, or you want me to.
I think I'll go to bat first. I guess if you want, because I guess the funny thing was that Sony's there. They're promoting their what is it?
The spatial display. Yeah.
Spatial display, right? The Virtual Boy. They're displaying this thing, and they have the Tiki that was available at Thetadrop.
Yeah.
But there's no mention of Theta or Thetadrop or anything Theta related.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
cornerstones of a good partnership is, hey, we got with so and so, and we let people know about it. Like it's like Theta or Thetadrop is like the dirty little secret. It seems like, because Samsung's not talking about them. Sony clearly at this NFT, right? This NFT thing it just said Sony. I didn't see any Theta there.
Yeah, I don't know who took that picture. I do want to give them. I do think this is pretty cool. You got Sony. Everyone knows Sony, and they're there at this NFT conference. And if anyone is stopping by to take a look, they are finding out that this is on Theta blockchain and that these are Theta NFTs. So I think that is really cool. But I also agree with a lot of the comments that I've been hearing. It's like, you got nothing on the wall. You got no kind of branding. As great of an opportunity as this could have been, I don't know if that was the final booth or if this is like somebody in a hurry.
That booth didn't seem like a lot to it. If I can be fair to Theta for a minute, which is rare, but it didn't seem like there was it was just the spatial display.
Yeah.
Right. And it said, like, the thing said Sony, like there was nothing to it. There was nothing.
Yeah. There was no plastic
free pens or pencils.
No, there was nothing.
Right.
There was a folding table, like one a Buffalo Bills fan would fly through, a plastic tablecloth that said Sony, and then 2 spatial displays. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, not knowing if that was like the fully displayed setup, but it just seems like there was room for so much more to do there. So I'd be curious to know if that was all that what it was.
I'm outside the ropes. Can you tag me back into this?
You tagged.
Okay, I'm coming back in. So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the Discord thing I saw, it was from a tweet, I think from an official Theta account.
It was Thetadrop, I think, retweeted Sony, I believe.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay, but it's like, hey, I mean, I'm sure Theta had people. Well, I'm not sure of anything, but I would assume Theta had some people there, right? And
I don't know. I mean, I know of some
at an
Theta
NFT
TV
conference,
people
New
that
York
were
City?
there. Yeah, I know. You would think, but I'm not sure. I didn't see anything. I saw that Synopsis was there, and I know that they were speaking highly of Theta, but I don't know if any official Theta was there. Did you see anything?
If you didn't see anything, I sure as shit didn't
I
see
wasn't
anything either.
really looking, but nothing came across my radar either. So I don't
Right.
know. I'm not. I don't have. I can't say one way or the other on that.
Yeah, I guess, there's plenty we don't know about why that tweet, how it manifested itself, but either one, there should have been some kind of follow up on there, or it shouldn't have been retweeted, maybe, to bring yourself into all those questions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it, but I think my overall point was like, now we know why that drop happened when it happened.
Right.
That drop happened because they wanted to have it dropped before they were going to this conference, and they knew they were going to go to the conference. So
Right.
they kind of they gambled that the market was going to get better before the conference, and it didn't. So that's why we were questioning it at first, and it turns out this is the reason why they dropped it while the market was in the tank.
If it was a gamble, though, I don't have a problem with that, because it's closer to when the tikis came out and the spatial display was dropped. So that's when it happened. So I think that time frame is fine. Maybe so maybe what could have happened behind the scenes is Sony signed up for this after signed up to be at this conference, and then they were going to release it then, and then said, hey, can we hold off on that? Because I believe Mitch might have said something about I believe Mitch might have said something about it. Yeah, I think market conditions were mentioned, but also it might have been at the behest of Sony to just pause that for a second. And so they came up with the reason about the market conditions.
Yeah.
Which I don't hate it. That's I mean, I've bashed it, but I don't hate it. I mean, I understand it.
It is what it is.
But it's fresher now in everyone's mind. This just came out, and then hey, check out the tiki.
Well, I mean, honestly, it seems like the smarter thing would have been to just drop it right before the conference anyway. To have that be the first plan of attack.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, what could have happened though was they had it scheduled to drop, and then maybe this conference got on the radar, or maybe the conference department wasn't talking to the ed department. I don't know.
That could be.
Those things happen.
So I did have one other thing I wanted to bring up, and I think somebody owes you an apology, and I'm not quite sure who it is.
Really? Because I'm going to be owing a lot of apologies as this episode goes on, but I'm very interested in hearing this.
Well, there is somebody that owes you an apology because they happened to open up a canister this week. And do you know what was in that canister?
Who and what?
A pine with a shoulder laser. And I know somebody that's got a couple of those, and whoever this was that opened up that shoulder laser, he just made a couple of your pines way less rare. So I think he owes you an apology.
Yeah. Whoever you are opening that, where do you get off opening that shoulder laser? I had 2 at 10, which is roughly, I don't know, 1/5, 1/6 of the market cornered on those shoulder lasers. And now there's another one, and now I can't figure, that's not even math. And my 2 shoulder lasers, man, they got dropped in rarity big time, kicking the teeth.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So we
so
will be looking for an apology.
We will be looking for an apology. Absolutely.
If you're showing up to ThetaCon, you're going to better bring $10, and you better have a really nice apology for us if you want to get in the door.
Absolutely. Yeah. Bring it.
All right. Well, Mags, fun as always. Stay tuned, guys. After these messages, we're going to have a really special guest. We had Imagine Replay with us this week. Stay tuned.
This week's episode is brought to you by Mega's Mutant Pine Derivatives, the perfect mutated addition to your NFT collection. Mega will take your pine and make it shine. Check out some of his creations on Twitter at MegVdev. That's at MEGVDEVTH. Tell him Poppin' Mag sent you.
Papa Max, yeah. Papa Max. Papa Max Podcast. Papa Max Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We have two great guests for you, so we want to get you right into this. We have Krish and Dan from Replay with us tonight. Krish, Dan, how's it going, guys?
It is going well. Thanks for having us.
Doing well. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for inviting.
Pleasure to have you guys along. We're really excited to learn a little bit more about what you guys are doing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So just curious, how did you guys get into the theta space? Like what brought you into the world of theta?
Yeah. Well, it's a long and windy road. But to sum it up, I don't know, maybe in 30 seconds, we've been working together in kind of the emerging media space for a long time, building companies, Chris and I. We've done several startups, most recently in kind of the video distribution space. And as we started thinking about Web3 and blockchain and how you could apply it to the various problems that are emerging in the video space, we came across the Theta community and just saw kind of a really vibrant and active group solving some kind of really interesting problems that, directly correlate to areas we're interested in, and reached out to the Theta community and just kind of had a really productive discussion ever since.
Yeah, absolutely. But just to add on to that, we were operating a company, Dan and I, previously, a company called Power.tv, which effectively built streaming services as like a white label stack. So we were powering other niche content like streaming providers or networks rather. We kind of have interacted with content partners and distribution partners and a lot of that. We when Theta launched, I believe, Dan, it was like late last year, they kind of launched their Theta TV framework and how they actually stab at like content creators and the peer-to-peer live infrastructure. We were just kind of blown away with their approach to solving and adopting Web3 and blockchain elements and combining that with video infrastructure. So we kind of reached out to them and just started diving a little bit deeper. We had faced a few problems at our previous company, some gaps in the space, some issues that we
operational workflow.
More operational workflow and things like that. So we kind of wanted to figure out a way with Web3 and blockchain to maybe solve those problems, and we'd love to talk to you about all of that today.
So could you guys tell us more about the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, as I was mentioning, as we were operating our previous company, we worked with a lot of content partners. Their whole business is around syndication of content. And when I mean content, I mean libraries of movies and TV shows, episodic content, documentaries, and how they actually syndicate or distribute to like the platforms that you and I are aware of, like Pluto or Hulu or Tubi TV and so on. That whole process of syndicating content is like super complicated. I mean, it's just comically complicated. It is very manual right now. So it takes a lot of effort for content partners to like actually get their content and to be syndicatable. And more importantly, there's very, very like almost no visibility into how their content is performing, right? Like literally like Excel sheets are being, spread around like based on like it just to show like how their content.
And they're not being spread around that often. So
exactly. They might send like, for example, Roku sends reports like on a quarterly basis. I mean, it's crazy. They have dashboards for like that show like video, like app installs, revenue reports are all like, I mean, it takes like 3 months for them to even get a report. And then more importantly, I mean, the payment cycle is like super slow. I mean, there are still content partners that are waiting to get paid 6 months to a year now.
Jeez.
for a view that might have occurred, like 6 months ago. So yeah, I mean, it was a mess, and we've been in that space for almost 6 years, just trying to figure it out. And the industry is totally aware of those problems. So that's where a replay comes in, right? We wanted to solve that problem. Those three problems, I would say. We wanted to figure out how to, how to make that whole process of content ingestion and workflow distribution as simplified as possible. And more importantly, we wanted to create like a very transparent real-time dashboard of performance, right? Like just available at their fingertips. Literally like, okay, here's my movie. This is where it got syndicated to. And this is how many viewers are watching or have watched, and then how much content has been consumed, all kind of via dashboard. And more importantly, we wanted to kind of provide like instantaneous payments too on top of that. And all of these problems can be solved using Web3 and blockchain by incorporating the crypto aspects of it, the Web3 aspect of it.
Yeah, just by providing transparency.
Just by providing transparency. And that's the whole point of blockchain, is like, we're able to record consumption on chain. And that's where Theta comes in. We're actually building all of this, analytics framework, consumption framework, all on top of Theta's blockchain, or Theta's ledger, which is obviously, empowered by a lot of the community, the Theta community out there. So yeah, so that's what Replay is. Like, it's a platform for content providers to have full visibility into the syndicating of their libraries to different endpoints and then getting paid faster. And it also has a built-in rewards framework. So even the viewers watching that content are also participating in like the success and earning rewards and things like that at the same time. So it really, at the end of the day, it's a tracking and payments protocol. That's all on blockchain.
That's pretty cool. So, now as compared to Theta TV, right? This seems like it's a little bit different, because Theta TV is like live streaming,
Correct, yeah.
all live events. This sounds more like actual, just like recorded content that is then dispersed. Is that
yeah,
right?
I mean, so the way to think about it, from a with a replay hat on, we want to work with every content endpoint over time. So, the reality of the world is we're dealing with thousands of streaming applications, right? Like your TV home screen alone probably has dozens and dozens of apps, and there's thousands more, and there's more and more even everywhere kind of you think about it around the world. And there's this big distribution challenge that Krish was talking about earlier around getting content from point A to point B. So Theta TV as a consumer product, is focused on live streams. The consumer-facing product we brought to market, Rewarded TV, is focused on VOD and linear films, films and recorded content. But the reality is, where Replay is focused over time is on providing an agnostic tracking platform that works with any OTT consumer-facing endpoint. Because this problem exists on a macro level with anyone that's moving content from any single point to any other consumer on any app. So the vision for a Replay is fairly large, but how we get there, is happening in steps, obviously.
And sorry, what is OTT?
When I say OTT, my apologies, I just mean over-the-top video services. So over-the-top means anywhere video is being delivered on the internet. So that could be video on a website, or video on your Roku box, or your Fire TV, or your mobile device.
Yeah, that's correct.
So is it possible that Replay actually like teams up with Theta TV at some point, and Theta TV is able to benefit from this?
Yeah, absolutely. Those conversations are ongoing.
Yeah,
we've been working very closely with the Theta team on a number of things, and again, I think just like Theta is focused on providing this infrastructure to as many market-leading players out there as they can, we're focused similarly. So I think there'll be, tons and tons of opportunity for overlap and cooperation along the way.
I wanted to expand just one more thing. I mean, Dan mentioned Rewarded TV. That is like our kind of you can call it a decentralized kind of Netflix almost, right? Because it is like a recorded content, like movies and films and linear television, like how Pluto TV has. So we're actually kind of using Rewarded TV and really kind of getting behind it from a direct to consumer service and embracing the replay protocol on the back end. Reward reward viewers for watching content, and then also reward the content owners, the rights holders as well, and in fact, and basically getting them paid faster. And as we started thinking about Rewarded TV a little bit more and what it means for the protocol and the community, we started we're also kind of in our roadmap, which will be obviously exposed on our website. We also are putting what's called token gating, right? The idea is, and that's where our token comes into picture, the RPlay token, which is effectively going to be a TNT 20 token. Folks can earn or buy those tokens to effectively license or watch premium content on Rewarded TV and other platforms that are powered by replay. So that's kind of our vision, right? Is that, it's like anyone should be able to watch content without ads or without a commitment, just purely on a pay-as-you-watch type of consumption-based model. And I think with replay's tracking and payment infrastructure, that is possible in many levels.
Yeah, so very, very cool, Krish. So I don't want to put words in either of your mouths, but from looking at this, so like, could I use like YouTube and Netflix for an example?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So like I've noticed recently, I used to be bigger into YouTube before I got down the NFT rabbit hole.
Mhm.
Yep.
And there's a couple. There's one fellow I follow, and he provides some content, and YouTube changes some algorithms and
Yep.
and how people get paid. And there's like a 10-minute mark, and then if there's some curse words or stuff, they de-incentivize, and they might not receive payment. I don't know how it works with the AdSense that they use. There's that issue. So I see some of the people I watch, they just make sure they get to 10 minutes. They have a decent amount of followers. They get to 10 minutes. There was that thing at YouTube where I think there was a viral video, and it had millions and millions of hits, and they de-incentivize it. And with the shooting that happened over there, someone was upset that they were demonetized because it didn't meet their new threshold. And it seems like what you guys are trying to do is basically you're trying to be fair and equitable by providing this platform to both creators, viewers, distributors, right?
Yep.
For the whole system to make it. So on that side of it, I guess my question is, well, actually, let me get to the Netflix part now. So like Netflix, I think, is notorious from what I hear, where they don't share their data. It's all in-house, so nobody knows what the true value of the show is or how much is watched unless they released anything. So I was looking at you guys, and it seemed like you're trying to get some maybe smaller to mid-level. I don't know. Is it distributors? Is that the right term?
Yeah. I mean, we call them content providers.
Content providers. Okay.
Yep.
So you get them on. So I guess what I'm seeing, or what I think that you're seeing, is that by using this platform to incentivize everyone appropriately, the small to medium level providers all of a sudden will realize this is a better model than signing on with Netflix, or I don't know exactly how it works, right? So then all of a sudden, then the bigger companies, once I think, or the bigger providers, once they see that, then they're gonna want to get onto that, because they're gonna want to be incentivized better, right?
Yeah, it's a great read. So, and that's exactly right. So the idea is that you want to create as close a relationship between the consumer and the content provider as you can, while providing a quality kind of service. So over time, right, we introduce more and more community features that allow us to kind of, work through how content ultimately is presented and featured and surfaced, and all of the fun stuff you would want to have happen on a entertainment service you enjoy every day. We started exactly right with the mid-market content providers to show them that there is a way for them to have direct, instant visibility associated with the consumption of content, and basically in real-time liquidity for that content consumption. And the idea is that as that model begins to get ironed out and proven out, that that model then applies pressure elsewhere to other services to adopt a better way, and to better and not better, but different and larger content providers to come on board. And it comes down to, you're right, and like this is an area we've been focusing on for years, is that you're probably not going to abandon existing channels right now. You're not going to abandon providing your library to Netflix. You're not going to stop putting content on YouTube, but you are going to want to distribute it more widely where you have more control. And our belief is that as these kinds of technologies are, coming into reality, that consumers that can have a better choice over, how ultimately they're able to kind of interact with and pay for content they consume, that everybody wins. And overall, the way we've thought about it is, right now we're in this world where everybody, including Netflix, is moving towards an ad-supported model, right? It's all about what's the tolerant level of ad load that we can put in front of a person against the proper monthly spend. And, Hulu's been doing the same thing for years. Disney's going to introduce a premium ad tier with their streaming service. That's all well and good. We've been in the advertising business for a long, long time. It makes sense for them to be able to use advertising to subsidize their content investment and development costs. But for the consumers, it doesn't necessarily mean a better experience. So we're at this weird point where we've got to choose between, dozens and soon maybe 100, maybe more subscriptions for the things that we really, really love. And the things that we love a little bit less, we're tolerating ads. It just becomes this clustered world where we're all subsidizing everyone else's content habits. And we want to live, we want to kind of try and create a path where you're really subsidizing your own content habits and, working with a community of like-minded content consumers to, create a sustainable model for content providers that you like.
So I'm really curious how you envision this working, because, you said that you want to, like, basically viewers are going to be rewarded for viewing the material, but then also the content creator will be rewarded as well. I know you said there's also like a more premium tier where viewers will have to pay a premium to get access to that. How does it work that both a viewer and a content creator can be rewarded?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So it's an economy, right? And so there'll be some percentage of content that's always completely free, and puts rewards into the hands of end users. And there'll be some content that's always premium. And there's a balance to the content that's available behind token gates and NFT gates and some kind of exciting models. We're not quite ready to announce, but will be announced soon. And so we strike that balance between effectively a pay-as-you-go model and a free model.
Yeah, we're thinking of just to add on to what Dan said, the free tier of content. We look at it as kind of you treat it as like a user acquisition cost, right, or a marketing cost, right, is to kind of get them in, and we want to be able to provide a really killer free content layer, right? And then obviously, like you said, Magnum, we are going to introduce a more premium content layer, which is where we're going to be driving a lot of our monetization, either via a token gate or we have plans to that's where kind of our NFTs would kick in, where NFT holders are going to get access to some really, really high premium content like Lifetime and all that stuff, which we do have in the roadmap, and we're going to announce soon some of them.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's where our kind of NFTs are getting, and I think it's going to fund a lot of the monetization that it's going to fund all the monetization and the payments that we need to provide to the creators and so on. So, and even our content providers are pretty embrace this kind of new model. At least the ones that we're working with and the ones that we're pitching. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if you come up with any model that actually values the viewer, watch time and provides them with a better user experience, the content partner and the content partners are getting what they deserve. Like I feel like you're solving both of that, right?
Right.
And creates a perfect ecosystem that way.
Right. So the key will be finding the right balance of free and premium tier. But even in the premium tier, the way we'll bring that to market, just does not lock you in the way that you're locked in basically everywhere else.
So you mentioned NFTs. Are you going to actually have a drop of NFTs, or is this going to be something that is kind of like earned or done
Yeah.
separately?
There's gonna be a combination of it. Yeah, we're gonna do a drop. There's gonna be some NFTs that would be earned based on some kind of watch time or viewer activity and things like that. But yeah, I mean, we're actually, we've been working with the community actively, with our community on Discord, and coming up with a good roadmap and plan for NFTs. And yeah, we are working with Theta as well to do a drop there.
Yeah, there will be a lot, again, just kind of to touch on it, we plan on a lot of community interaction, community features that ultimately allow folks to earn those NFTs. But there will be a tier associated with content coming soon. I think we started even alluding to that in our Discord earlier today. And it's on our public roadmap and all that good stuff.
So I don't know if we covered this already, but like some of the things that could be done, I think some of the content I was looking at with these NFTs could enable, if you're on one content creator's stream or whatever, or have an ad-free option, right?
Exactly.
That's super interesting.
That's exactly right. Yeah, we're gonna have like branded or content partner branded NFTs that'll give you access to that specific channel ad free. Whether it be a live event, a live stream, or a library of content that's by that content creator. There's a lot of those kind of models that we're going to be introducing soon.
So what is the process of actually getting more content creators on your site? Is this like a one at a time kind of thing?
No.
Or is it like people with libraries?
I mean, right now, our active outreach has been to libraries. And we've onboarded, I don't know that we've announced really any, but we've onboarded maybe a dozen. We're going to be announcing them as their content comes live. So we're, ingesting content like crazy right now and excited to kind of bring fresh content every week. So there's quite a bit of content already on the platform. And we've had folks from the Theta community, filmmakers, come to us asking to kind of put content on the platform. So we're working through those details. We get inbounds from creators. So, our outbound focus has been on larger libraries, but inbound, we want to talk to everyone. And that's been the process so far. There are going to be tools launched around that. Krish, I'll let you speak to that as well.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add a few things to that. When we are ingesting content into our platform, we're obviously integrated with the Theta Video API. So we're a pretty heavy user, I would say, of that product. So everything is hosted, encoded, and streamed off of the Theta infrastructure. So there are currently, when you go to rewarded.tv and download the app and watch some content, they're all being served off of that. So we're using the TVA product, and obviously that actually utilizes edge nodes in the back end and the peer-to-peer infrastructure that Theta has. So we feel like we're going to be definitely, a major consumer or consumption of that infrastructure as we start growing our content partner base and growing our consumer base as well. But yeah, that's what I wanted to add on to.
So you mentioned the video API from Theta. I'm curious, what about the DRM? This is kind of a new thing where Theta has a patent now on basically if you own an NFT, it can give you access to a live stream or something of that nature by using their technology. Is that something that...
That's exactly, that's how our NFTs are going to be built as well. Yeah, we're actually partnering with Theta on the NFT side as well, on the NFT gating side as well. Yeah.
So you'll be using the DRM service, the digital rights management?
Yeah, we'll be using the NFT DRM service that they have to effectively unlock content, if with an NFT. So we would sync with either the Theta wallet or the MetaMask wallet, wherever they're holding their NFT, and then we would figure out a mechanism to basically play back the stream, and it would authenticate the stream off of Theta. That's correct. So that whole workflow is being built that way. So yeah, so we're pretty excited that they released that functionality recently, and yeah, we're going to be definitely using that quite a bit on our NFTs.
That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, when that first came out, there was a little bit of a debate going back and forth within some of the NFT communities of like, there's been other like on Ethereum where it's like you can check the wallet for an NFT, and if you
Yeah.
have it, then you get access to something or whatever.
Mhm.
But it seemed like people were discounting it a little bit,
Mhm.
where I didn't quite understand it at first, but to me now, I understand it as, Theta basically has a model that is patented for security of the stream. And
Exactly.
that,
That's
yeah,
the, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the difference. It's the stream itself is being unlocked by an authentication mechanism by the NFT gate. Mhm.
it's being unlocked, and it's also being protected throughout the course of its travels from,
Exactly.
point A to wherever it's being consumed.
That is correct. Exactly. So there it is. It absolutely is easier and build on Ethereum and kind of do a gate. And like you said, there's a little bit of nuance to actually protecting the stream itself in this manner. So yeah, and we're obviously going to be taking advantage of that functionality that Theta offers. Mhm.
Is Theta, and are you guys like ready to scale if it really takes off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So our recording ledger of our views and everything is on Theta Chain, and we obviously use the Theta Video API extensively for hosting and streaming. So we're set to scale on that. We are working with Theta on their meta chain as well. So we have kind of our own subchain infrastructure for as we start scaling on our side as well. So we're working actively. We collaborate with Theta quite a bit, the Theta core team, on ensuring that we're set to scale. We do plan on. I mean, we do have a big vision, like Dan said earlier, with Replay and Rewarded TV. We do think it's going to be taking off quite a bit. We have big marketing efforts and push on our underway to have it adopted. So yeah, we're always thinking about scale and security and all of that stuff at all times.
So, do you have a timeline on when you expect your Arlay what is it? Arlay coin? Is that what it's called?
Our play, yeah.
Rplay.
Yeah, our play token. We're hoping to do to do like a listing in the end of the year at the moment. But before that, we're launching a few key features like the dashboard, right, for content partners and viewers, so they can see exactly what's happening. It's an entire analytics metrics system, along with earnings and things like that. That they can see, like they'd be estimated earnings. And then we'd also be launching like NFT gating and token gating, sometime in August, September timeframe. And then soon after that, we'll be listing in the market. We're obviously a TNT20 token, so we'd be listing in one of the Theta-based swaps first, and also some of the central exchanges that we've been interacting with already. So yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to have something live.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else you wanted to? Did we miss anything major about what you guys are doing there?
No, I think I think we've covered it. Yeah, I mean, our ultimate goal, like, I mean, just to kind of in summary, right? I mean, we want to solve some of the major problems that are actively a big thing right now in the industry. We think blockchain and Web3 really solves it, right? Around content owners getting visibility, transparency, instant payment, things like that. And then having the community also have a more fairer ecosystem by also contributing to, like, by watching and by having, by earning and actually redeeming. I feel like it's just like an entirely new way of consuming content. But it's almost like a common sense way. And especially with this model, if we can make it ad free, I mean, it just provides a much better user experience to the end of the user at the end of the day. So yeah, so we're pretty excited about Replay. Obviously, we're pretty passionate about it. And with the Rewarded TV, I feel like we're getting, like, it's already live. You can go to rewarded.tv. We have apps. We have iOS apps. We have Android apps. We also have a Roku app now, a Fire TV app. We're working on a release on Android TV. We already have it live on Apple TV. So we're kind of expanding everywhere. We're also talking to some set-top box providers like Xfinity, Comcast, to like integrate our apps there. So we got big plans to distribute our app, our technology out there. So yeah, and obviously anything we do is gonna contribute to the success of the Theta community and the infrastructure as well, because we're going to be utilizing that system quite a bit, both on the video streaming side as well as the blockchain side.
So I'm kind of interested, if I had Roku, right, and I'm on the replay app within there, how am I going to get that to talk to my MetaMask account to let them know that, oh, I can watch, whatever premium?
So yeah, basically, like when you download our Roku app, you effectively sign up for an account. You can do that using almost like a second screen type thing. Like I'm sure you've seen it probably on HBO, where you basically create an account.
Guys, I want to apologize. We just had some technical difficulties. We were right in the middle of an answer from Imagine Replay. It actually happened to us twice. We're very sorry for that. We just want to come out and we want to apologize to Imagine Replay. We want to apologize to the community that didn't get the full answer that was being given. And we just want to hold ourselves accountable for this mistake. The level of transparency that we want to offer you guys is top notch. And we believe that you guys deserve an apology. And we believe that Imagine Replay deserves an apology for that.
Yeah. And Sheriff, I just want to go on and just mention, as the top pineapple on this Pinecast, I want to take full responsibility myself. I was running the show and things didn't work out. But after all this transpired, me and Popper, we sat down and we talked about it as a team. This most likely, we agreed, is not going to happen again. Much like domain renewal, integrity of the Pinecast needs to be held to this standard too. So
first and foremost, we
will be better, and we're not going to use the beta as an excuse. But we are in beta, so just give us a little leeway. I'd also like to mention that I was psyched out of my mind to get this interview with Imagine Replay. This platform I'm super excited about, and I don't know if we got a chance to mention it, so I'm just going to mention it here. Follow them on Twitter at Imagine Replay, and check out their Discord. Sign up for an account at Rewarded TV. Some big things are happening with this platform. I wasn't too keen on this. I didn't know much about it. I heard about it, but that's where it ended. I had heard about it. Yep. After talking to these two, my mind's blown. My mind's been blown so much over this podcast episode that there's nothing left. So check out imaginereplay.com, read about them. I mean, if you're a streamer or someone who enjoys watching movies or watching streams, this platform is going to benefit everyone, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think huge things are going to come with it. So
I completely agree with you, Magnum. I didn't know much about this one as well, and was super excited to have them reach out and want to join us. And I think we learned a lot, and I'm very excited for where this is going. So I'm very interested. Can't wait to see where it's going.
You have been listening to the Pops and Mags Pinecast. Music provided by Sushi Cat. Like what you hear? Send that cat a very nicely worded compliment on Twitter at JustAddSpam. Pops and Mags is a Scumbag Hat production in association with Kyle's Hot.